Okay, so pleased to have you all join us today, and excited to get started on this becoming prosocial and create our little community here over the next 7 weeks. And excited to see how you're all zooming in from different parts of the planet. That is pretty amazing. Hello, Elena. Um, Feel free to introduce you there if you wish in the chat, and just say where you're from, maybe.
Sure.
Okay, Tanisha, you're on the board of Prosocial. Good to know. Yeah. So, as we are getting started here, I'm just gonna have just gonna give you a brief little sense of what we're planning on doing today. So, Odette, do you want to share our agenda today?
Yes, what we are planning with you today is to do some. I'm from Germany, that's why my accent. Yeah. So in case you're asking, wondering, and we are planning to do introductions, set the course goals, give you an overview, and we talk about leadership. We'll do a lot of breakout groups and a little bit of input and a bit of sharing. Hello, Venita. Hi, you're there as well. So welcome everybody, and let's start. Let's start with a short contemplation. That's what we usually do in Prosocial. It's important to be present in Prosocial, to be yourself, to be connected with yourself, and that's how we usually start our courses. So I would like, if you like, you can close your eyes and come into your body. Imagine you have got to the end of this course and things have gone really, really well. So all your expectations have been fulfilled. You met the people you wanted to meet. You got the information you wanted and the inspiration you were hoping for. What does it feel like? What do you see around you? What are you experiencing? What are the people around you doing? What would be different for you? What would you be doing differently? And what would you be noticing? And when you're ready, start noticing your body again. Feel your feet on the ground. Take a deep breath. And get ready in your time to return to the group and see all the other faces that have arrived meanwhile. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you, Odette. So really part of our goal today is to have all of you meet each other. And so to get started with that, we are just going to do a brief little breakout and breakout rooms. Maybe we'll be, maybe we'll do 3 or so breakout rooms and just introduce yourself, where you're from, and one of your goals of taking this course, what you're hoping to get out of it, and what it would look like for you, what it would feel like on the inside at the end of this course, and what you might hope to learn, and how to bring that out in the world. So, and then we'll give you about like 10 minutes for that, and then we'll come back in the larger group again. And we'll take it from there. Sounds good? Great. So let me get the breakout room set up. And I'll play for 10 minutes. Okay. Here we go. We are here with Arvi, Odette.
We are.
Yeah, so I think I'm not Arvi, but maybe you and I go to a different room to meet the people. What do you think?
I don't know. Can we go to every room or?
Oh, I think Arvi went out. Oh, there's Maria. Hello. Hi,
Hi,
Maria.
I'm so
Welcome.
sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear us?
Yes,
I-
I'm so sorry. I really have some technical issues here. I just got kicked out. I'm sorry for being late as well.
No worries. I'll go ahead and assign you to a room. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
We are just introducing ourselves. Okay.
Okay.
And say what might be what you're hoping for.
Okay.
And so I don't know. So Marian, I think she went into another room, and maybe you and I go into another room too, Odette. What do you think?
I
Or
don't
should we
know. I'm not really sure if they want
I think,
this.
I mean, that's kind of what we did last time. We joined in the rooms. Yeah. It's a little,
Okay.
so, I mean, we don't have to do it for everything, but I think it's nice as we're getting to know each other.
Mhm.
We can pop in. So I just have two facilitators here, so I don't know if it's you or me. Um,
Mhm.
and actually I
So
just
I
have
can
one.
go into room 1.
Okay, you go, yeah.
Oh,
And
there's somebody else coming. I'll just wait here, and if people come, maybe you go into the rooms and I welcome the new people and put them into rooms. Because the Ren is just arriving, I think. One of us needs
yes,
to stay here and welcome new people, I think.
yes, that's right. Here's Ren. Okay, so maybe I should do that since I can assign them. Hi, Ren.
Okay.
I'm so
So I go
sorry.
into room
So
1.
traffic.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
well, bye. Welcome, Ren.
So sorry. The traffic was horrible. There was like a million accidents.
Ooh, ooh. So we are just meeting each other, and we are in breakout rooms at the moment.
Okay.
So no worries. We just did a little contemplation, and sorry about all the traffic. And you know, I'm just going to stay here because I don't actually I can pause the recording for now. Here we go. Thank you, Odette. Yes, who didn't get a chance?
Tanja. She might still be in the room with
There she is. She's coming in.
where is she? Tanja, I've advocated for you to have a chance to speak because we didn't get to hear you.
Oh, in front of everyone?
If you're okay with it.
If you will, you're welcome.
I am willing. I am willing, definitely. So, my career trajectory is a little bit conventional. I am an electrical engineer by education, software engineer by practice. I spent 15 years on Wall Street, did not like the message I was hearing, but maybe what brings me to Prosocial started when I was in high school. I remember the first time I entered a science lab. You know how you stand at the table, you do experiments and you write your results and things like that? It came to me that I was being taught two things. One, I was being taught separation, that I, as a human being, am separate from these things I'm experimenting on. Second, I was being taught domination, meaning I, as a human being, am superior to these things I'm experimenting on. That sense of discomfort from separation and domination stayed with me my whole life. And engineering is probably the worst field of study when you feel like this. But so it stayed with me until finally I said, no, I need to find a theory that can integrate my inside and outside. And I found this with Fritjof Capra's course, The Systems View of Life. So since I'm an engineer, I go towards the science of it. So I am now a full-time complexity scientist, and I'm applying complexity to the fields of finance because I spent so much time in finance. But because modern science or Western science is not complex, it's not integrated, it is reductionist. I am looking at the Eastern medical systems, Chinese and Indian, to understand their complexity models. And I'm going to apply those complexity models to finance in order to, and so I have a think tank called Regenerative Investing Institute. So I'll put that in the chat. Please visit it. It's a very basic website right now. But the whole idea is to integrate finance into life, into society. Right now, whenever a investor walks into a room, he becomes the king, right? Because he brings the money. So how can the investor play the rightful role in society in general and in business in particular? That's my story. Oh, how I was introduced to David Sloan Wilson. We had a chat. He thought that the way I think would be useful to Prosocial, and so I'm on the board now.
Well, aren't we lucky to have you there? Thank you. You know, I think we have such a rich room here of so much people from different parts of the world, beautiful diversity and expertise. So I would really, if you're willing, if we can do a little round, just briefly introducing yourself. You've done it to each other, and so it'll be a little repetition, but and say a word or two of what matters to you and deeply, what and why you're here, and what you hope to get out of it. Would you? Does that sound like a plan? All right. So we can, Tanya, since you started, will you? We could pass it on, but the baton to someone who has whose mic is open. Would you want to pick someone, Tanja? Tanusha? Sorry.
Yes, so let me pick Susanna.
Hello, my name is Susanna. I'm from Berlin in Germany, and yeah, why I'm on the pro-social way. I wrote my master thesis about prosociality, and I was exploring about how leadership can promote pro-social behavior. And actually, I work a lot with NGOs, and I do organizational development and process facilitation. And my goal isn't always to bring people together and speak together instead of talking about each other. Because that's in Germany right now, and not only in Germany, I guess, it's a huge problem that we are talking about other people a lot, but not together anymore. And my way is to connect again and find a way to prosper, to be cooperative and constructive. And that's why I'm here in this course. I'm really happy to meet all of you, because I think a strong network is helping all of us. Thank you.
Welcome, Susanna. Thank you.
Thank you. I pass the baton further to Alina. Or Alena?
It's more like Alena.
Alena, okay.
Alena.
Sorry.
Actually, it sounds quite complicated in Russia, Alena, but everybody calls me Alena. It's better. My goal is actually I have a very I don't know how it will be. A simple goal is to make an association of digital accessibility. Actually, I work in the field of digital accessibility here, and we have a great community, and I think we should make it more organized. And I worked in inclusive education, so I'm very in some inclusive processes here. Yeah, I'm from St. Petersburg. Yeah, and I like the idea. I'm actually a psychologist. I have PhD in psychology in organizational motivation. So it's very interesting for me to think about prosocial in organizations and how we could adapt it here. Thank you.
Wonderful. Welcome, Alena. Do you want to pass on the baton?
I pass to Vren.
My name is Ren. I'm in LA. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. So I work for one of the largest community mental health providers, probably definitely California wise, but we do services all over. I work for DD Hirsch, so we're specifically focused on suicide prevention. My friend introduced me to Prosocial. He took this course, and I'm really interested in leadership, but also I have, outside of work, I do a lot of environmental activism and community work. So I'm looking to kind of tie the two together in my role as a clinical supervisor for a diverse treatment team of clinicians, case managers, varying different range of specialties, as well as incorporating what I learned here regarding leadership skills, compassion to the clients, and the overall structure of the agency that I work in. So I feel like there needs to be better communication within the system of the agency that I work with, and trying to find unique leadership tools, tricks, and skills through Prosocial. I popcorn to Marian.
Marian?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, I still have difficulties. Hello?
Hello, we can hear you. We can't see you at the moment, but we hear you, I believe, right?
Okay, so I guess I should. I'm really sorry for the.
Oh, I think now we lost you. Oh, Martin, I think now your sound is off.
Okay, am I back now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Oops, I think there you are again, I think. If you want to try speaking. Oh, no, that's Barbie. Yeah. Seems like we might have a
Hello?
hard time hearing you.
I don't know. I think I really have a very, very bad internet connection.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's see if that might work itself out, or do you want to try a little bit now? And if not, we can pass it on and see if it stabilizes for
Yes,
you.
I mean, maybe I'll just try it once again. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me or not?
Yep.
Okay.
Hear you.
Sorry for this. I don't know what that is actually about. I am Marion, and I am from Germany, and I'm actually as well in Berlin at the moment. But I actually live in and work in Band for a German organization that mainly supports NGOs, local NGOs all over Southeast Asia working on environmental issues. And that's also a little bit my background. Like I work for this foundation forever. I've been working in Afghanistan, in Pakistan, 6 years in India, and I've just been transferred to the position in Bangkok a year ago. And yeah, my interest really is actually in community environment and democracy, working with communities. And I'm here because I heard about the course at another training that I did. And I'm really here for just learning about the methodology and listening to what's going on, exchanging with everyone, just learning from you all, and see how I can, integrate this more into my working environment, because I feel that we've been kind of totally driven away by rigid methodologies and writing proposals and setting indicators for things they, are achieving only on a very superficial level. So I just feel that it's like actually time to kind of develop new methodologies and new approaches. So that's why I'm here for, and I'm really sorry for the horrible internet connection. That's definitely better in Bangkok.
Okay.
I
Thank
pass
you.
on
Thank you.
to Camille.
Thank you, Marian. So let's see, I'm originally from Belgium, naturalized American and Italian. I pursued my education in the States. Got a master's in applied behavior analysis from Cal State LA, and then when I realized that I worked as a behavior analyst and when I and a teacher, and when I realized that clinical settings were financed for filled beds, which I was trying to empty, I realized I was working at cross purposes, and I became interested in leadership, and so I went on for a PhD in organizational behavior management and then moved to Italy and founded my family there and found that as a woman in Italy, it's really hard to get to the top. So to avoid being a secretary, I became a consultant, which opened the doors to consulting in a lot of very interesting settings. And then later on to get positions as a top executives in highly toxic environments. Which betrayed the limitations of behavior analysis and organizational behavior management, especially if you're in as a VP or an executive. I just never had the political leverage to, or politics were always involved somehow. And so I became very interested in contextual behavior analysis, complex systems, and so on. And in the meantime, I've been looking for a pivot for a while after a serious case of burnout, by the way. And so in mid 23, I went to the Brussels School of Diplomacy, looking to do something at the international level. I wanted to address violence. And my first impulse was to work on de-escalation. And then I realized that working on de-escalation, you're working at the problem at its worst. When everybody's been hurt, resources are depleted, and it's volatile and emotional. And I thought, so then I learned about Ostrom's principles, and I thought, what if we considered the conflict as the common resource pool, and we found creative ways of being complementary to each other to negotiate the issue, but still, it's just, I think, the wrong place to deal with it's too late, really. The best way would be to work in prevention. It sounded kind of boring and banal, but it's probably much more effective. And even if you're de-escalating, pro-social behaviors will be necessary. So I thought I should explore pro-social behaviors to prevent violence and so on. And so that's sort of where I'm at now. And one area where I thought I could, I'm kind of looking at maybe doing an experiment on it. And so one place I'd like to practice my muscle with this would be in misogynist behavior and massive online role-playing games where alpha male behaviors are extremely toxic. And considering the amount of man hours billions of people who have access to internet globally are spending, I think that if we could do something about it, the impact would be amazing. And I'm finding that some companies have taken, created policies with sanctions. If you misbehave, you'll be kicked out of the game for 3 months, but nobody is teaching anybody different ways to play, to behave with women, and to be inclusive, and to leverage the female leadership styles to win their conquests and stuff. So, and I'm also finding out that women who are not aware of how extinction works are actually inadvertently reinforcing some of those behaviors. And so I think it's a very rich environment in which to practice this muscle. And then see where I can take it into real community. And it has, it's related to the crisis of young males right now and the high rate of suicide among them, the high rate of feminicide, which, by the way, Italy is one of the protagonists in that area. So it just seems like it's really socially relevant at this time. It's responding to a lot of pain. And I think I can learn a huge amount from this. And so we'll see. Plus, we're in the midst of the Me Too movement, so I think I'll have some allies.
I believe you will. I believe you.
Of both genders, I think. So that's great. Yeah. So that's where I'm in right now.
Wow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you and welcome. Who do you pass the torch on to?
Let's see. Sorry. Valerie.
Introductions.
Valerie.
Hello, everyone. So I live in Auroville, India, which if people are not familiar with that, it's an intentional community formed in 1969 with the intention of being a space where men and women of all countries could live in peace and progressive harmony above all politics and nationalities. And it is the purpose of Auroville is to realize human unity. Given we are currently more than 60 people from 60 different countries living here, and the main purpose of Auroville is to serve. So exploring cashless economies, exploring lots of experimental, all sorts of experiments, whether it's social, sustainability, non-violence, community, all sorts of non-violence ways of working, whether it's with plants, animals, people. It's a hub for all experiments in that space. With that said, with the complexity of the different communities, cultural backgrounds, and not to mention your previous lifestyle backgrounds, I was a consultant engineer, worked on Wall Street, worked in both sides of the coast in US, worked across the world in IT strategy and consulting. And I have moved to Auroville 5-6 years back, just looking to really explore meaning of life, purpose of life, which is to me largely progress to becoming a better human being and being able to find and live in peace and harmony with everyone around. And of course, one of the most basic things that comes up is very easily just building trust, connection, building trust, really learning to listen to each other and finding easier and then better ways of conflict resolution at all levels. And Auroville is kind of perfect to explore those things. So I guess that's where I'm here. And the reason for me to be part of this is because, as I already said, there are so many reasons why there are naturally ways to work through, just given all the various differences that are inherent in Auroville, and then to achieve the overarching goal of peace and harmony. So it's a very, very interesting space to be in if this is what you wish to explore. So I'm just hoping to get more tools to work with, to support, and see if we can truly be leaders in a collaborative space, which Auroville is, but we struggle for a lot of reasons. And so, yeah, just looking to learn more and grow.
Great. Thank you, Valerie. We have a few left we want to make sure we hear from. Arvi, if you're willing, Stefan, Aaron, and Vineta, right? And then Odette and I will just introduce ourselves as well briefly. Who do you pass it on to? I couldn't hear that. I'm just going to pick one. I couldn't hear you. So how about Stefan? Do you want to go?
Yes, I'm excited to be here. Spent 16 years in India and many years in Auroville, where I'm still very often. And I facilitate dialogue. I was just reminded of my studies. Thank you, Camille. I studied systems theory, like sociological systems theory, and a lot of organizational theory from a sociological viewpoint. And then I went into a field which was very practical, and I started nonviolent communication, which I'm teaching or sharing since 17 years. And what I hope to get out of this program is to have more answers when I work with groups. I love working with groups, and I would like to take them further in the systems that they're in, and I got interested in this program through somebody who shared it in Oroville, actually. And yeah, I'm now also in Germany, sometimes in India, and I'm excited to see many people from India and Germany and from Russia even, where I spent some time in St. Petersburg, and it all comes together. So I want to cut it short here. And I also work in leadership development. Maybe that's interesting to know. And somebody said a domination. I think, Tanuja, you said that in the beginning, domination systems to get through that and come to power with people. It's what I just find so thrilling to see when it happens. Aaron, please.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stefan, and everyone for your introduction. I'm too really excited to be here and grateful for the opportunity to have the time and the resource to participate with all of you. Much gratitude. My background is, I started at, I've been in housing and real estate my entire career. I built schools and teachers' houses in Central Africa, in Gabon in the 90s, and then with the Peace Corps, and then again in East Timor with the Peace Corps doing water and sanitation systems. Then came back to the States, the Pacific Northwest of the United States, and started impact organization, raising impact capital. I'm focused on housing and deep green housing to start. And then I really realized that over time, we cannot net zero energy our way out of our political problems. We can't EV our way out of our political problems. We have a great proxy example in the unfortunate story that is Easter Island, where the resources depleted, but they ended up killing most of each other through infighting. And I came to the realization, actually, the only way we can mitigate the turbulence as we're going through these incredible times is by, creating communities of care in that multi-level selection theory that David Wilson promotes and talks about so much. The most impactful thing I can actually do is create and help create companies that are, the definition is just simply people coming together to do more than one person can do on their own. Anytime that happens, you have the ability to create these communities of care and pro-sociality that can spawn new communities of care, like the Russian nested doll, that to me seems to be the best way we can mitigate turbulence, limit suffering in the world. My personal mission is to build relationships, businesses, and homes that help regenerate communities and environments. And I'm hoping to get out of this course a new community in all of you to help support me and my work that I do in building companies and communities of care aligned towards positive social outcomes or environmental outcomes or the intersection of both. Veneta.
Thank you, Aaron.
You're still muted, Veneta. We can't hear you.
Yes, thank you for the reminder. I am just mind blown by the amazingly rich and diverse people here, and I already feel like all of you could be potentially my friends, and I would love to invite you in my kitchen and cook together and have a party already. I'm a behavioral analyst by training and by vocation. I've been doing that 18 years, working with children with autism here in Germany, born and raised in Bulgaria. What is meaningful to me, because I heard that question as a prompt, is my relationship to my 10-year-old daughter. I find very much rich ground and provocation there, and practicing everything I need to practice and learn. She's enough. I don't need anybody else, honestly. Great teacher. I don't want to be a leader because I don't want to be surrounded by followers. And I just, half of the time I'm pro-social, the other half I'm anti-social. I love to be alone in the forest and not talk to anyone. And I'm a difficult character, and I'm okay with that. So this is what probably you need to know for me, because I'm trying to be short so everybody else can have a say. Thank you.
Thank you. And I appreciate your candor. Do we have Arvi as well, right?
Yeah, I guess that I'm the last, I guess, in the thing. Well, thanks. I'm very excited to be here and also to see all the diverse people from various geographical locations. Myself, Arvind, I'm from India. Currently, I'm residing in Auroville at the moment, and also like some fellow colleagues that I see from Auroville. And currently now, my profession is basically in sustainable development and mainly within agricultural and food sector. So that's my expertise. So I kind of am still a recent professional, not like working many years, like as many of you guys. I mean, I just only finished 5 years and I'm still exploring a lot on how to build resilient food systems within many different levels, maybe local, national, international, somewhere. So that's my career goals, and also I see myself being in the forefront of some kind of participatory resilient food movement. So this is where Prosocial was pretty much attractive to me, and I was introduced to Prosocial via some Auroville network. And in this course, I'm probably hoping to learn more of how collaborative approaches are feasible and implementable within yes, like issues like food crisis or like within food systems. So that's my main goal to take from this course, and yeah, that's my intention to do so in this course as well. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Arvi. Odette, do you want to introduce yourself briefly?
Okay. I'm really in awe of all your expertise and your wonderful stories. My journey started when I was a child. I wanted to change the world. I wanted to break down the Berlin Wall. I mean, I was such a child, you know. And 40 years ago, I did my master in the UK in organizational behavior. And then I worked as a lecturer at the University for Organizational Behavior. And yeah, a few years later, I went to Germany and became a therapist because I wanted to be there for my child and have time at home and not travel around. And yeah, so I've always worked in both fields, in the therapy with the individuals and hoping to change the world that way, and it didn't work. So I tried to help people change in organizations, and I got so fed up with capitalism that I left the factory work and stuff and went to the NGOs. And when I was 50, that's 10 years ago, I started what do you call it? I have to look it up. Community supported agriculture project, and led it for 4 years. And then I started an eco-village project in Germany, and it's still running. And I didn't want this hierarchy. And I was researching and reading. And then I discovered in 2019, I discovered Prosocial. And I thought, this is amazing. This is research-based. This is applicable. And I did the facilitator training immediately. And so since then, I've been around and tried it out and worked with it. And so here I am. And it's the first time I'm working with Viveka on this course. So it's also an experiment. And yeah, I look forward to being with you and yeah, sharing all this knowledge. Thank you.
Yes, thanks, Odette. Wow, it's wonderful. Really, I'm filled by just listening to all of you and moved to hear where you're coming from and the amazing kind of efforts you're putting out in the world, and to have an opportunity to learn together here. So briefly, I'm Viveka, I'm from Sweden, and I landed in the United States through love. I met my husband in the Himalayas of northern India in Dharamsala. So I've had strong influence. That year in India was probably my most powerful adult year, impactful adult year, and introduced to Buddhist practice and philosophy, and that's been a thread throughout my life. My husband couldn't stand living in Sweden. It was too dark for him, and all kinds of other reasons. So I had to join him here in New York. Well, eventually first in New York. We lived in many different parts, East and West Coast. We finally found common ground in San Francisco. So that's where my feet are now, on Ohlone, Indigenous peoples' land. And I tried different ways, but psychology became my home, and neuroscience. So I've done some neuroscience research. I thought I was going to kind of end up more in academia. But I ended up more being a clinician, and a foot in both camps, and have integrated a lot of that sort of mindfulness work into my practice as a psychologist, enriched by many scientific traditions of psychology. And today, the two main pillars, I would say, is contextual behavioral science and acceptance and commitment therapy. That's been my home for about 22 years or so, which is part of really, the cousin essentially of prosocial. And the other foot is in experiential therapies. And in my case, emotion-focused therapy. I work with couples and families a lot, and where I try to make emotions come alive in the room. It's not too hard when we have couples in conflict, but to deepen and to draw out what matters, and sort of through the back door of pain, connect with our values and care. So, and lately, the last few years, actually, we went through and back to Sweden and lived there during the pandemic. And then during that time, I had a little more time, and I really invested in learning more about our environmental climate crisis. And I felt like there's a lot we have in this science of contextual behavioral science in particular, and other fields of psychology. And I wanted to see how can that be a part of where we are as in this polycrisis. And so Prosocial was such a gift to find, because it really fit. So like Odette, I've been involved in Prosocial in the last 4 years or so, and really thriving through learning in this community, and with Paul Atkins and Robert Stiles and others, and Odette and others. So I'm facilitator of groups and this course and so forth. And so just really, I feel like it's actually a place where a lot of my interests come together and align on a social level, and then kind of how to integrate it into different fields of work. But the lens is the group primarily, and within the groups, there are the nodes of us. So we are looking at, it's a balance of individual and collective. And so that's where we are really bringing to you all, and hope to get your input on. The classes, the meetings really are for us to experiment together and learn together. And the course material you will be doing more on your own, right, during the week. And so I'll talk a little bit more about that. Just before just to mention a few things, I'm just going to put in the chat here. What are some of the shared goals and needs or values that you heard about learning and learning Prosocial? When we listen together here, what are some of the shared components? You can put it in the chat, maybe I can read it out, or if you wish, you could just speak it out. But what are some common threads? Inclusivity. The power with sustainability. Curiosity, community, search for living more with heart-centered life, collaborative approaches, participatory approaches, yeah, toward a sustainable future, hearts and belonging environment, building a trustful community, learning and listening. Yeah. Trust, learning, community, belonging, and how we work together, how we collaborate in your different walks of life. How do we come together, collaborate toward shared goals and share with shared identity and purpose? Beautiful. So let me share just a few slides to get us sort of aligned a little bit and what we're going to be doing together. See, and it's going to become smaller, and so got a sense of so the objectives for today is really to have the two of you meet each other, as we mentioned, feel excited about the program, and to sort of know some of the nuts and bolts of what you need to do to succeed. A little bit of the tech and the content, just go over that briefly, and have some new insights and ideas about your own leadership. And that's what we're going to move toward here. You might have seen in the program, in the introduction at Learn Worlds, this image here of the prosocial process, if you will, or work, where we go into the personal. We feel like we cannot bypass that. We've learned that the hard way. We then move into more of the purpose as a group, the collective vision and identity and purpose. We learn, we integrate the principles of groups, of how groups work the best to build trust and collaboration, and to move toward action and co-evolution by starting and rebooting, the learning through doing. And in all of this is the cycle of the processes of adaptation, whether it's genes or your behavior. And it comes through variation. We want to have a broad range of options, behaviors, broad behavioral repertoire. And then we select based on the context and our values, particular goal or value or behavior. And that's what we then try to retain and practice. So this is the overall arching kind of, intentions of Prosocial. And in this Becoming Prosocial course, we have this first meeting today, and we're going to go into you as a leader. And the next two classes will be more work on how we communicate authentically and build connection through our communication. That'll be our next class, and then the kind of self-awareness and perspective taking and some of the emotion regulation that's needed to stay connected to ourselves, and that's a psychological adaptability, flexibility that we'll move into in our third class, and then we'll shift more to the group level and explore shared vision and values, building purpose collectively, and what are those protocols, the core design principles that help us collaborate as a group and move that into action. So that's our sixth class. That's the overview. Now, each of these, the individual work, the group work, has a lot of tools in the Prosocial bank, if you will, of methods. And we're not going to go into all of this, but you'll get a little taste of different tools that we'll introduce in the classes, in the meetings. I hope you've all been introduced to or exposed to the Learn World platform, where you have Paul's recordings and also materials that he's listed there. Please let me know if anyone has any questions. You have the, under path, you have the different modules here, the classes, and you click on the little arrow down and you can get and then you select for each the recordings and the text, and there's extra material under optional. And if you click on the discuss link there or tab, that's where we can all meet and we can discuss, and we can in between our meetings here. So do use that. Sometimes there are exercises to do during the week, and you might want to try some of them out, and you can share some of that in this under discussion too. Let me know, does anyone have any questions about the Learn Worlds platform, or
Yes.
had trouble getting in there?
Yes.
Yes.
So yes.
Yeah.
So I have come into courses.prosocial.world, but I don't see these kind of things in there.
Yes, I had this at the beginning. It leads you into something where you can program the courses and change the programs, I think. I've had that before, and I don't know how I got back into the course. It just happened.
Okay.
So
Is there
maybe
a link you can send us so I can try and see if I can get there?
Yes.
For example, the link to this?
Yes, we should make sure you get that. Tanusha, let me see. I'm going to just go into Learn Worlds. Can you see my, this is now Paul here. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you go back to the course page. Actually, that's not, and then you can click.
Go on to continue, then you get in.
I put the link in the chat.
I don't get that continue button.
Exactly.
I missed so that you can create stronger, more collaborative relations.
Well, you know what we might do, Tanuka? We might spend a little time with you after the class today. And if anyone else has questions around this, we're going to see if we can help you get in there and look at your particular settings and see if there's some issue there. So anyone who has trouble getting into this, stay a little bit after, and we'll help work with you. Okay.
All right. The link, just so you know, the link that you sent works.
It worked. Yeah, I got that from the facilitator. I had an issue.
Okay.
Yes.
The link works to get in there. Okay.
Yes.
Great. Odette, do you want to take over for now and introduce some of the leadership topics that we have?
Yes. In Prosocial, we have this idea of shared leadership, and we sort of think that you cannot not lead, like you cannot not communicate. And I like what you said, Veneta, with I don't want to be a leader. And in a way, it's not being a leader. It's a leader without being a leader. And this leadership is more like shared power. It's more like how can I influence people and be in the different roles. And it's a lot to do with nonviolent communication as well, because that's also the basis of Prosocial. There's a lot of knowledge from Miki Kashtan in there, and the leadership definition is also one of them, is from her. And I think most of us know in theory that we want to involve people more, but in reality it's so much harder because we have concerns that stop us from sharing power. I remember when I did my community supported agriculture, when I led it and I had my ideas, and then people started not liking some of my ideas, like involving the refugees. We had lots of refugees coming in from Syria at the time. And then I became even stronger leader and said, but we have to do it. And it didn't work out well. And that was before I met Prosocial. And I think I had to learn the hard way. It doesn't work to dominate others. And I did trainings in nonviolent communication and with Miki Kashtan and so on. And many of us probably are looking for ways of of transforming our leadership or our yeah, we call it self-organization sometimes. Yeah, we want people to take more responsibility. And I quite like the metaphor that we use also in Prosocial, the many voices, one song metaphor. I think we got it from Sociocracy, from Ted Rao, and it is really the best, one of the best ways to describe where we want to get to. And what I found interesting in the work of Paul Atkins in his article is when he had this difference between the complex adaptive system 1 and 2. The people who study systems, of course, know all about this, but that the systems 2 are more like a marketplace and sometimes cooperation emerges. And we want to get to system 1 where we have well-functioning teams, like a heart is a lot of cells working together, or a stomach is a lot of cells working together, and then the organs are working together, and to have these kind of teams where everybody has their place and also work together. And it's also this balance between self-interest and collective interest. And I think we're all still learning how to really implement it. And I think there's no one way. It's like process-based therapy where we look at individuals and context and help people to find their own way. So the groups have to be supported to find their own way, and the organizations as well. That's my thinking about, a brief thinking about power and leadership, just as an introduction for you to share your experiences. And we are going to invite you again into groups. And I think Viveka wrote something in the chat to me. Yeah.
Should we go over these slides just briefly, Odette? Do you want? Or
Yeah. So here we see the scale of abdication of power and power over, and what we want to do is everyone is affected and practice the power with model. Yes. And now we have some questions for you. Yeah, there are the oh my God, now my language is
some definitions.
The definition.
Yes.
As practice of mobilizing people to tackle tough challenges and thrive. Then we have the next one is Miki Kashtan, the capacity to mobilize resources to attend to needs. And one more.
I think the main part here that we want to re-emphasize is that leadership here is thought of as a behavior, and you apply it in any context, whether it's your personal life, your family life, or your kind of community life, professional life. But you can always work with it as a behavior in yourself. And the way the definition that kind of emphasize is more that how we mobilize the resources and in ourselves and as a group to meet challenges. So, yeah. We don't want to, so going toward this concept of power with. And what we're hoping to do for the next 10 minutes, and then we'll come back and wrap up in the last 5 minutes, is to put you in groups again of breakouts and have you explore some of these questions in your life. Like, what in my behavior or attitude might contribute to mobilizing a group and support them in thriving? What are some of the things I do that help me mobilizing others? What are some of the challenges I see in myself in my leadership role? And where do I feel like I need to develop and grow? And what challenges me the most about leading in my wider context or system? You may not have time for each of these questions, but you could maybe pick one or two and have you go through and think about that together. I'm going to put these in the chat as well, so you have them there. And then I'll set up the groups. Just give me a second here. So here you have the questions, and I'll go ahead and create groups. All right, here we go.
Can you all see the questions? No, I think Viveka, you put it in the direct messages.
Oh, shoot.
There are the 14 questions in Paul's article, right?
No, they are, those are other ones. These were the one we're asking you to just consider here. What in my behavior are contributing to mobilizing people in the groups and support them in thriving? What are some challenges for me in mobilizing a team or group? Or maybe at the larger complex system level. Do you see them now? Good. I think you should all be able to have a group here.
Yeah.
Good. Poof. Sorry, I took over a little bit there, Odette.
No, that's wonderful. Thank you, because I got a little blackout.
That was great. That was great what you were doing. I really thought that was great. I just wanted to have a little chance for them to explore these questions. I think they're good and with each other. So
Yeah.
I need
I'm sort of thinking, oh, they all know it anyway. So
I know they have it, but yes, not sure. I need to go to the bathroom quickly, and
yeah,
but we're gonna have they're just gonna come back. We're actually only gonna have a few minutes before we end, so I'm a little concerned about time.
yeah, we just maybe we asked them what they took out of it.
Yeah, what's something you took out of that leadership conversation about yourself, and then yeah, that's will be where we end. I'm gonna go to the bathroom, but
Yeah, me too.
okay.
See you.
What a fun group we have.
Boy, yes. I mean, and really people who have a lot of expertise and knowledge, and amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. So, whew. Yes, I know. I just like pivoted, right? I mean, I had your words in my mind. Like, it's really good for a group to connect, getting to know each other in the
I
beginning.
think it
And
was important. I think you did
thought, like,
absolutely the right thing.
I thought, like, there's such a resource here. Like, we need to know each other.
Yeah.
So we took a little long time for that, maybe, but both the breakout and then this. But anyway, I'm like, I felt that was. Yeah, I'm gonna think of that next time. We maybe, but it still seems good to do a little breakout. Don't people get to know each other a bit?
Yes, that's always good. The breakouts are really good. We are
Have
still
fun.
recording. It's okay?
Yes. We're recording. That's right. Oh, we don't. I can actually. I guess I can pause it here.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
All right. We're just waiting for everyone to join us back in the large room in the plenary. Amazing you're with us all the way from India.
I guess we lost Marion.
Really?
I think she lost. Yeah, I think she lost the connection.
Maybe next time she'll be in Bangkok and have better internet.
Better connection.
Yes.
Oh, it's a shame.
So, are we back? Everybody
You're
back?
Mhm.
Yeah. So we don't have much time, and we thought it would be nice still to practice what we preach, and that is hear everybody's voice. And if you could just very briefly, from this last sharing breakout group, a strength or a challenge or some other sentence that you take with you from this experience, just very briefly to connect. The next topic will be prosocial conversations. That will be in our next course, just to introduce it already. And if you don't mind, I will just call you up so we are really, really fast. Would you like to start, Susanna? One word, sentence, a strength, a challenge, or anything else you took with you from this discussion?
Yeah, I think the one word is actually it's two, is a common goal.
Common goal. Ren, would you continue?
I think we had a good conversation with power over and theoretical and therapy practice, the power over in agencies or workplaces.
Oh, thank you. Tanuja, would you carry on?
I like the opening up of conversations. We come from different places, but we're opening up into a common space.
Thank you. Camille, I just call you as I see you.
Energizing.
Energizing. Stefan.
Sorry, I just took this as a reminder and seeing that every decision is an execution of leadership. So it's a power that everybody has. Thank you.
Thank you. Alena.
I think the challenge is to overcome the fear of losing power over.
Thank you. Veneta.
Challenges to bring more humility and patience.
Patience. Okay. I need that too. Javi.
From my side, it's more it's about more of having a collaborative vision in the sense. And a challenge is basically more on accommodating to also the personal interest. It was more of a personal challenge, I mean. So in that case, more of accommodating the needs to all diverse stakeholders involved within that collaborative vision.
Thank you. And Valerie.
Being able to work through a challenge, being able to work through conflicts in a way that, the fear is that when you feel you're going to go into conflict, is to avoid it. And that's not the answer. We need to be able to meet it. So that's
Thank you. Okay.
Just wrote down a few of the things I heard you say here, all of you.
And we have the recording, so you can watch it again if you like.
Yes. All
Okay.
right. So thank
Lovely
you
to
all
meet
for joining us today, and really a gift to meet you all. And next week we'll move into authentic prosocial conversations, how we listen reflectively and how we share helpful information and how we structure a conversation. So these are the topics that you'll be introduced to in Learn Worlds. And you can do some exercise there if you like. And we'll continue when we meet a week from now. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions for us via email in Learn Worlds. We'll try to be on top of that. If there's anything more here and now, that you like any questions, we'll stay on a little bit, Odette and I, and otherwise feel free to continue your day, your evening, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Bye.